Kia ora, everybody. This week we're trying our hand at van life in New Zealand, and we're doing it by renting a motor bus for a few days.
Now the great thing about the company that we're renting from is that the van they gave us is super inconspicuous. You never would know that we're tourists.
We're taking this quirky little van all the way from Queenstown to Milford Sound and back in what will be one of the most unforgettable trips yet. With maybe a few hiccups along the way.
That is not food. Sir, ma'am.
We're Sarah and Tony, a couple of budgeting backpackers making our way around the world on FareDrop flight deals. Last episode, we spent a brief amount of time in the North Island of New Zealand learning about Maori culture and zorbing down a hillside. Now, we've hopped over to the South Island. We're actually setting two main goals for this video. We want to have the most epic road trip ever, and to do so, we're taking a rental van from Queenstown all the way to Milford Sound and back. Maybe in doing so, I'll learn to appreciate van life a lot more and fall into doing this for a longer period of time. The second goal is the same as the first video, and that is to make Sarah fall in love with this place, which I think I can do pretty easily.
So while Tony's goal for this trip is to make me fall in love with New Zealand, my goal is to make Tony fall in love with van life.
Well, we'll see about that. But for now, welcome to our week-long journey through New Zealand's South Island.
Before this road trip starts, we gotta pick up our van. But before that, we know absolutely nothing about living in a van, so we need to get a crash course on how to set this thing up for success.
Comfortable driving on the wrong side. Perfect.
And I'm glad we got this crash course because who knew so much went into just being comfortable in a van? Well, probably most people, but this is our first time.
Got a cable inside. Okay. You can plug it. So if you want to cook and use the gas cooker, you will have to turn the gas bottle on. So here, very easy. You've got everything you need. You've got the fridge here. Here, it's going to be your gas cooker. Okay. So as I said, gas bottle on. You can use it. So here, you're going to have your fancy toilets. If you use them, you will have to empty them. It's super easy. This, you open this. You empty everything. You can give a good rinse as well with a hose. You just put it back, all done. Just have in mind that everything you put in there, you have to empty it.
Right.
You've got two beds that you can make. The top one, this one is easier to make. You just like pull it, that's going to come over there, and you can make another bed here. You just have to attach this, same. This one is actually pretty easy to make. You just hide it.
Let's grocery shop.
It's like, what's that game show they had?
Shoppers, something?
Yeah, they had to like, what was it called? Vegemite, I've never had Vegemite.
Vegemite.
Oh God.
I don't know if is that fresh?
I don't know. Oh, let's get some peanut butter. Do they have like a bag? Grab some soy sauce, salt. Mind your business, we're on a budget.
You mentioned this is communal and we will return this stuff.
This is communal and we will return this.
Thank you.
First order of business is a trip to Kmart because it is 35 degrees and I'm walking around in Birkenstocks because I left my boot and my rain jacket in Rotorua. My dogs are cold. Got our gear. Now it's time to get some food. And the lovely man who helped us buy all of our things said that Pack and Save would be the spot for the cheapest groceries, which I'm all about cheap. Time slide. Do not recommend going to the store when you're starving because we probably overbought, but I'm so hungry. Everything sounded good. It's like 61 US cents to $1 here. So it was like a little, not cheap, but a lot more affordable than it would be in the US. Anything that we don't eat that's not like refrigerated, we can donate back to Juicy to go into that free pantry. So that's gonna be what I tell myself to justify this. Okay, we got enough food to probably feed the whole South Island. We are going to head to a campground that is about an hour and a half south. I think if we can get a good chunk of the drive towards Milford Sound done today, then that's just less driving we'll have to do tomorrow.
Van life starts now. Oh, gosh.
He's gonna love it.
I actually am kind of excited, like packing the groceries in.
It's nice, huh? Yeah.
We'll see how the sleeping situation is.
I think it'll be fine as long as you can keep your farts to yourself.
Well, farts are fine. It's the snoring you gotta worry about.
Our first campsite is about an hour and a half from Queenstown in a town called Lumsden.
Well, we made it to our campsite. It's not as pretty as the first one we wanted to go to, but it's pretty cool. We got our own bathroom, public bathroom, and there's this like kind of cool train set artifact that's right here. Did you kind of explore? So it's not bad.
It's free. Did you say it's free?
I did not say it's free. It is free. So we have that going for us.
So there is something in New Zealand called freedom camping, which means you can essentially park at these designated like campsites, and a lot of them are free, which is great, which is where we're at now. I downloaded an app called Campermate, and it is very helpful, and you can use it offline too. So I filter just free campsites kind of on the way to our route. A lot of them are first come, first serve, but since it's winter and the off season, we have pretty much every space available that we can pick from. But I think freedom camping is gonna be the way that we go for 3 out of these 5 nights. I did book an actual campsite, which we'll show you a little later in the video. I'm very excited about it, but this is super convenient and they are everywhere in New Zealand. It's awesome.
You can actually climb up in this thing. This is kind of cool. It's old and it's full of spider webs, but kind of interesting. Never been in an old abandoned train before. It's probably not, well, it is abandoned, but it's part of a museum, so cool little find.
Well, yes, we just bought all that food. However, we wanted like one last restaurant meal before full van life kicks into effect. So there's one restaurant open on this entire street. It is just a little tiny establishment, and I think it's called Oyster and Chips. We got fish and chips. One of the Google reviews said it's the best fish and chips in Southland, so I'm going to take that and trust it, but we are the only ones in here. This is a very large fish and chip. It's very crispy. It's like a really thick crust. Fish smells amazing. Really good. It's like a dough on the outside. Holy sh, that's hot.
Coming from someone that doesn't like fish, that fish and chips was pretty good. You can see why everyone that comes here rates the fish and chips really highly, because there's like one guy that works there and we were eating, he was still frying fish. So I was like, I don't know who he's frying the fish for.
It was an interesting menu because there was like a ton of seafood, but then like chow mein and like
there's a lot of Chinese
dishes.
food. Yeah.
So I understand why people get fish and chips. We knew coming here in the winter the days would be short, but it's crazy just how short they are. The sun doesn't rise here until around 8:30 and it sets at 5:30. But we're not going to complain about an early bedtime today. We survived night 1. It was in the mid-20 degrees outside and we are at a non-powered campsite. This is very cold, but tonight we're moving to a powered campsite, so we'll be able to use the heater.
Breakfast of champions.
We're just missing some protein.
Yeah, last night was interesting. It was a little rough. So today the plan is to kind of make it to our next checkpoint. This is supposed to be the last place we can fill up. Once we get to Milford Sound, we're kind of on our own, but there's a nice little spot we can camp out at. Sarah has a bunch of different photo stops planned out along the way, so it should be a pretty interesting day.
Sunrise so good, I went out in my curlers. No shame.
Eglinton Valley, our first major stop on this drive, and an iconic filming location some of you may know.
This is Eglinton Valley. This is one of the iconic spots to stop on the way to Milford Sound. It's probably gonna take us hours to get to Milford Sound because everything is just so beautiful. There's a lot of really easy pull-off spots if you want to take some pictures, which you've got to.
Never been one to want to like frolic or anything like that, but it's giving me that urge to just run through the valley and skip and hop and enjoy it. And it's nice out too. Yeah, this is nice.
Did you find your happy?
Yeah. Pit stop number 75. Wow, ooh, this is kind of cool though.
Oh my gosh. Looks like broccoli.
You know when they say things don't look as good on camera as they do in person? This is one of those things. The camera cannot justify how amazing this looks.
That was an unplanned stop. Shocker.
Shocker. Oh my God.
For those who don't know, I don't like heights.
You can actually move this thing.
Look at you being brave.
Yeah, look at that. Oh yeah. It's when I know I can fall and be okay, it's less terrifying.
I'm the opposite. I am more scared if I know I can survive, it's just gonna hurt. This is the most beautiful river stream I've ever seen. I think this is all I know this is all glacier water, so it is so crystal clear and probably absolutely freezing if you touch it. This bridge is a little shaky. This is really close to Lake Marion.
I'm like trying to record it walking backwards like this. Wait, that wasn't smooth. Okay. Pit stop number 77, 76, one of these pit stops.
But we still have an hour and a half until we can even check into our campsite, so we'll fill the time.
You think you're getting cold, 'cause you've been acting cold. I'm coming for your soul. I have the mercy for a 9-year-old.
Wow. I don't think I've ever said wow this many times in one day. Wow. 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 Oh, look at the cloud. Every turn, and then you go through these patches of like forest, and then you come out and it's just like bam, mountains. Dang, look at the clouds over here. They're like floating down the mountainside.
I want to see one of these Kia. I keep seeing these signs everywhere. They are the world's only alpine parrot. Hopefully we see one that's kind of cold, so probably not. But there's signs everywhere, so there must be a lot of them.
A few moments later.
It's on the bus. Oh, fates will have it. One just landed on our bus.
These are fascinating birds. They have this really neat pattern underneath their wings, and they seem rather chill.
Hey, no, 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 hey, no. That is not food, sir, ma'am, Stop trying to sabotage us, please. I'm like, oh, these birds are so cool. And I was like, all right, you guys are a little In their defense, it's probably because a lot of people feed them, which is why they have all these signs saying don't feed them. So don't feed the birds, because then they do crazy stuff like this.
New Zealand is the one place in the world where you can find alpine parrots. They are also highly intelligent, and I'm pretty sure they're sabotaging us on purpose so that we'll give them food.
Okay, now we're being held hostage. So another bird just showed up and they are under the van, so we can't really leave. Guys, can we go? It was nice of you to show up, and I appreciate it. Come on. Come on. Keep going. Thank you.
Now, some may be concerned that we're road tripping in the winter. However, we did include snow chains in our rental, which was not required, and they were never needed during the duration of our trip. But I will say it was nice knowing that we had them just in case.
This is so wild.
This is trippy.
It seems like each stop is more amazing than the last, but like I said, it took us way longer than it should have to get to Milford Sound. But we still made it with just enough daylight to check into our campsite. Welcome to our campsite. We are at Milford Sound Lodge. It is a little bit of a premium campsite, I would say, just because it's the only accommodation in Milford Sound. So this is for our campsite $100 a night, which sounds expensive because there's so much free camping in New Zealand, but it comes with a guest house that has Wi-Fi, a full kitchen, like a lounge, showers, which is great, and full cable hookups. So we have power. We don't have heat in our van, but we do have full power.
First meal in the van, free beef ramen. Not bad though.
That's really good.
We woke up to raindrops hitting our roof, which normally I'd be disappointed by, but not today. This morning we're heading out on the water to explore Milford Sound. In contrast to its name, Milford Sound is actually a fjord and is one of the highlights of the South Island. The towering cliffs, dense forest, and cascading waterfalls are supposed to be one of the most epic sights to experience. And we're going to get up close and personal thanks to a cruise with Southern Discoveries.
This is crazy. Normally I'd be like, dang, it's raining. That sucks, we have a cool activity plan. But not today. I was actually hoping for rain because the moody, like, mountains, fjords with the cloud inversion, crazy. And it's not raining too bad. I think it's only like 45 degrees. I like it. My Pacific Northwest heart is happy.
Tour operator was like, someone's got their lucky trousers on because there are dolphins swimming in front of our boat. Was not expecting to see dolphins today. Woo. Get it? Power pose.
I got it.
Yeah.
To some people, this might not look like fun being out in the rain like this, but I can't tell you how many of the people we met along the way that said there's no better time to come to Milford Sound. Because with the rain comes all of the waterfalls, and that makes this place look even more stunning.
Right under it.
Marks one of the narrowest parts of Milford, also known locally as Windy Point.
The captain here is mentioning that a section of the Milford Sound is called Windy Point, and it has gusts that can get pretty intense. The channel gets tight so the wind gets compressed and picks up velocity. We didn't feel it on the way out, but when we turned around, things changed rather quickly.
And Milford opened up for
It's that time of the video where I take just a moment to tell you about FareDrop. So if you don't like saving money on your travels, I guess you should just skip ahead. But if you do like saving money on your travels, then you've come to the right place. Trust us, the last thing that you will catch us doing is overpaying for flights. And you shouldn't either. The FareDrop team scans millions of flights and sends you the best deals directly to your inbox. I'm talking deals to Europe, deals to South America, and yes, deals to New Zealand. FareDrop Pro Plan members get sent an unlimited amount of deals in both economy and business class if you're feeling fancy. Scan the QR code or click the link down in the description of this video to get started with FareDrop and start saving money on your next adventure. So we actually booked sort of a double excursion with Southern Discoveries and decided, since we're here, why not get out and kayak as well?
Lovely. We're going to go feet to seat and little twist, feet to seat. See the bars on the side, grab onto them.
So we got dry for a second, and then boat dropped us off. We're gonna get some kayaking in. Kayaks are a little wobbly.
And that one happened 2 years ago on the right. And we're going to go into the corner and you'll see part of one which happened.
This is Byron. He's our guide out here, and he knows some really cool facts about the fjord.
It takes about 150 years for it to come back to its full capacity. And if you look on the left just there, you'll see all the moss on the sides. This is what takes the place of soil in the fjords.
It is so beautiful. Highly recommend coming out to kayak if you are able. And it's really not too cold because they give you this nice protective layer. And then hopefully you layer it up yourself. If you want to do cool things like this, consider signing up for FareDrop, because we literally would not be here kayaking in the Milford Sound on the South Island of New Zealand without a FareDrop flight deal.
It's one thing to be on a cruise boat in the Milford Sound, but it's another thing entirely to glide along at water level. It makes the enormity of Milford Sound even more vast, and it's a bit of a rush to literally get close enough to touch one of these waterfalls if we wanted to.
After kayaking, we could finally get dry a little bit before heading to the underwater observatory. The observatory is said to offer a unique view of the Milford Sound 10 meters below sea level. We're not going to spend a ton of time in the observatory since we have to get back to the boat, but it's a great way to learn about the different types of sea life here. On the way back, we cruised by a few more impressive waterfalls and then headed back to shore.
A cruise and kayak trip through the Milford Sound is well worth it, but it'll set you back $295 a person.
All right, now it's time to get out of this rain and into some dry clothes. Byron said a few things yesterday that we didn't get on camera. It rains about 230 days out of the year, as you can see.
And
right
this is
now,
one of them.
it's still raining. It's been raining for the past 2 days. And if Milford Sound goes 10 days without rain, it's classified as a drought.
The reason why the tree avalanches happen is if we have 10 days of dry weather in Milford Sound, it's considered a drought.
Now it is time to leave our luxurious campsite and head back up to Queenstown. I don't know where we're staying tonight, but that's kind of the beauty of van life, is we can kind of just stop anywhere. I know the direction we need to go, but we'll see where we end up sleeping. Snow like down in Milford Sound is pretty rare. It usually stops higher up on the peaks. Well, we just drove through Homer Tunnel and it was not snowing on one side of the tunnel, and on the other side it is snowing. Now let's talk ow.
Now let's talk cost. The nightly rate for our van was about $63 US, which I feel like when you factor in accommodation and transportation, that's like a heck of a deal. Now I will say, I did add on the maximum insurance that they offer just because it's winter in New Zealand, I didn't know the road conditions, and we've never done van life before. So better safe than sorry, but even with that additional insurance added on to the nightly rates, it was not an outrageous number for 5 nights. Officially made it out of Fiordland National Park, and where we're at now is just as beautiful. I hope the clouds clear up a little bit today or maybe tomorrow because it looks stunning. We have arrived at Possum Lodge. I found this site on Campermate. We opted for a powered site, so it was $50, but there's Wi-Fi and hot showers and a game room
And laundry.
and a laundry
And there's a lake over there.
and we're about to go to church.
To church?
Yep.
Huh?
We're gonna go to church.
What? You mean found a zip line?
I guess when you find a makeshift zip line on the South Island of New Zealand, you can't not go on it, right?
I'm Tony Cofield, and this is FareDrop. It's just as scary.
Not quite impressive as the guys from Jackass, but what are you gonna do?
Okay, your turn.
Oh my god, did you stand? No, you sat on
I
it.
sat. You can stand if you want.
No, I didn't think it was gonna go. I'm spinning. That's fun.
The playground was fun, but I'm going to venture to say that drinking beers in an old church will be equally as fun for us.
My favorite kind of church, the one with a full service bar.
Yeah, a gold medal ale called Spades, I think is how you pronounce it. Spades.
Got a black beer.
This tastes like,
Ooh, that's good. Slightly chocolate notes.
Yeah, give me the cold flavor.
Slight hint of chocolate. Maybe a little peanut. No, there's no peanut. It's very good beer though. Wow. So we got 2 of the same thing, but kind of not the same thing.
We both got meat on bread.
You got meat on bread. Sarah got the church burger. I got the open steak sandwich. So it's got like barbecue sauce, an onion ring, and meat on bread.
Oh, that's a lot of meat.
Oh my god. Onion rings on a burger slaps every time. I don't know if it's just because I've been eating van food for the past couple days. That is delicious.
Wow, those are really good onion rings.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, I came into this trip thinking that New Zealand would be like super expensive, but it's really not. Like our grocery store bill was not outrageous. This meal was like 64 New Zealand dollars, which translates to less than $40 US. And we got 2 entrees and 2 beers, and we're gonna get 2 more beers.
I lost track of how much our beers cost, but our 2 entrees were $48.
It's a nice hat you got there.
Listen, when you're a minimalist packer, travel with someone whose clothes you can sometimes fit into. Like a hat.
Slight epiphany for myself. The secret to me liking van life is finding a campsite that has power hookup, washer, dryer, laundry, games, and a lake that's walking distance. I'll do it if you do it. Whoa.
One of the cutest things about driving this big green monstrosity here is that anytime we're driving and we see someone else in a juicy van or car, there's always like a in solidarity wave, which I think is adorable. Humans are cute sometimes. Ooh, it's really muddy.
While I was in the process of finding our last campsite for our return trip, I came across one that was right on the beach. However, what we didn't know is the area is really muddy and our little van wasn't quite equipped to handle that. I might have gotten us stuck in some mud. I think he's trying to find things to put under the tire. He found a flat rock and a sandal that was left behind. Hopefully this works.
Van got stuck and we got a little bit of help getting it pushed out. But we got really muddy.
Yeah, pants is more horrible. The shoes are shit.
Just being our hero. Saving us. Thank you.
Appreciate
you, man. This is our aftermath. So we started kind of this way and slid all the way back down here. And this is where we got stuck for good. So amateur van lifers here.
Sorry.
Our new friend Alex was saying that the downfall of these vans is that they aren't very good in all terrain. So
He was like, we had one in Australia. It was
Well, that campsite didn't work out, and the next closest one is just a little past Queenstown, but this one's gonna cost us $30.
all right. Welcome to campsite number 3. First campsite we tried to go to, we got stuck in the mud. The second one we tried to get to was actually kind of cool. It was on a lake on top of a mountain. I think this mountain actually, if you can see that, but the problem is the same problem we had with the first camp in that our vehicle is not all-wheel drive. So getting up there was fine. It was cool. We got to see like a valley of all these cows that were free range. Got to the lake and there's a sign that said that vehicles without all-wheel drive should be extra cautious since we have to leave super early in the morning, like before the sun rises, and it's like right at the peak where all the ice and stuff is. We decided to play it safe and find another campsite. And I mean, look at the sunset over the mountains. Since it's pretty late, we are going to have our last meal in the van, watch the sunset, and then call it a night. Then tomorrow we drive back to Queenstown, fly back to Auckland, and then it's home.
Oh, wow. What is that movie?
Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal.
5 days was not nearly enough time to spend here. That said, there's always time for us to come back to a place this stunning. For now, we have to make our way back to Auckland.
Luxury compared to the van.
As you can see, we have left the van for something a little bit more cozy.
We are back in Auckland after flying from Queenstown this morning. I've been doing a lot, like thinking about when I was planning this trip. We only had like a week here, and when I saw the flight deal to Auckland, I was like, well, we can go full in for the North Island or maybe try and spread ourselves a little thin and try and hit both. I'm so glad that we did.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
I can't imagine this trip without the South Island and Milford Sound and van lifing around that whole Fiordland National Park area. What a dream.
Would you say you've fallen in love with this place?
Would you say you've fallen in love with van life?
My question first.
Yeah, that was easy. That is not a hard sell to fall in
That's
love
not
with
a
New
hard
Zealand.
sell.
And have you fallen in love with van life?
No. I will say though, I do appreciate it a little bit more. It's
Convenient.
It was convenient and it wasn't as uncomfortable as I thought it would be. I think if we did a few more, maybe in some different places, maybe trying like Iceland.
But our next FareDrop adventure is going to stay stateside to a place I have never been before and you've been only briefly. After that, we have another very epic international adventure, followed by a few more epic international adventures. So make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss any of it, and make sure that you are all signed up for FareDrop so you can go on incredible trips just like this without breaking the bank. Scan this QR code or head to the link in the description.
As if you could outrun me. As if you could fight me.
We've officially made it out of Fiordland National Park. We've officially made it out of Fiordland.